And now we're back. We're going to talk Indians. We bring in our Indians beat reporter, Paul Hoynes, joining us from Kansas City. Hoynesy, what's going on?
Hi, guys.
All right. Hoynesy, why can't Corey Kluber beat the Royals? What's going on here?
That's a great question because before this year, he had no problem beating them. I think they've kind of designed a strategy to jump on Kluber early. If you look at the 3 games he's lost, they've had one big inning in each game that's kind of turned the tide, and then Kluber's pitched pretty well. And we saw that last night in the 3rd inning. They swung early in the count. They got on base, and they eventually beat them, and they beat them 4-2. And, after the 3rd inning, he pitched like Corey Kluber pitches, but by then it was too late. And it's kind of a pattern. If you look at the 3 starts, that's the way it's worked. And Kluber throws his fastball early in the count. He really pounds it. He tries to establish it. And they're out there swinging at the first straight pitch they see.
All right, Hoynesy, so I'm going to dig into the Indians' schedule as of late. Now I want you to tell me why I should buy in and think that it's more than the Indians taking advantage of just a great run here when they played the Cincinnati Reds, the Chicago White Sox, the Texas Rangers. I'm not seeing like big-name teams that the Indians were able to beat during this stretch. So am I supposed to buy into this team that they really have turned the corner, or are they just taking advantage of what the schedule is allowing them right now?
I think it's a little of both. You got to play the schedule. You can't change up teams and say you're going to play the Detroit Tigers 162 times a year. You play what the schedule says. You play who the schedule says you play, and it's that old baseball axiom. You kill the bums and play 500 against the good teams, and so that's what they're that's what you try to do, and this is it's gonna be. I just think they started off in their division, that I think 17 of their first 20, 21 games in the Central, and they caught Detroit, White Sox, Minnesota, Kansas City when they were all playing well. And that really put them in a hole. And I mean, they didn't help themselves, obviously. But I don't know. I don't know why I think you just got to ride the schedule out here. They are playing better. They've won 11 of the last 15 games. The starting pitching, I think, is a key. That is pitched. They pitch very well, and that to me, that no matter who you play is going to help you win games. Offensively, they had a great May. They finished 3rd in the American League in runs scored. So people who say, they're not scoring enough runs, they are scoring enough runs. The offense is there. Defensively, it's still a big question mark. I think that hurts them. The bullpen looks to me like it's finally coming around. So, I mean, you put those things together, plus the schedule where, you get a soft spot in the schedule, you play well. So now, you look at the upcoming, let's see, in June, what do you got? You got Baltimore, Seattle, Detroit. You get back into the division in June. So we'll see how that goes.
Paul, you mentioned Detroit. They're coming back down to earth. They haven't been playing well lately. The Royals even coming back down a little bit. But what is going on with the Minnesota Twins?
The Twins, they're not taking no for an answer. They have just, under Paul Molitor, they pitched a lot better than I think people thought. Trevor May, those guys. Phil Hughes has pitched. He had a great season last year, but he's pitching very well. They get Danny Narasco, whatever that guy's name is. He comes off the DL and pitches well. The closer, they've got a good bullpen. So they pitched well. And, if you look at the stats from last year, I think they might have led the American League after the All-Star break in hitting. So, they've that's no surprise. They're kind of doing it with guys that, really nobody has heard of, but they're playing very, very well. Will it last? I don't know. I think the starting pitching is a big question with them. And that's kind of their Achilles heel. But right now they're having a great run, and you just kind of ride it.
So looking at certain teams that are leading their division right now, Hoynesy, not necessarily some teams that people expected. Give me, between these two teams, and I know Minnesota has been bumped out of that spot by Kansas City, but Minnesota being a surprise in the Central, more sustainable, or the Houston Astros in the AL West?
I think the Astros in the AL West.
Really?
It's not as difficult a division. I think that they're loaded. I think they're playing well, and you don't play this well through 2 months of the season and just kind of collapse. I don't think. So I would think that the Astros are going to hang in there. That's between those two picks. I think that the AL Central is bound to. It's kind of a war of attrition in the Central. I think they're going to wear each other down, but. The AL West is not as strong as it usually is. It's been down. Oakland is down. Seattle for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with that club, but they have great. They have a great lineup, and they're not scoring runs. Texas has a lot of injuries, and the Angels just can't seem to get going. I mean, they're hovering right around 2 or 3 games above 500. So I think the Astros, are a pretty good bet right now.
Lindsay, I think Manny Acta would have something to say about playing well for a couple months and then collapsing.
Yeah, but I don't think AJ Hinch is going to have a clubhouse revolution out of that. Yeah. If he's smart, he won't.
The Astros have actually been building to this for a little while. They were on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
A little while?
Remember when they were on the cover of Sports Illustrated? It was like the 2018 World Champs.
Well, this is what happens when you lose 100 games in a row for 5. You get a lot of high picks, and whether you're good or not, you're bound to hit on a couple.
All right, Paul Hoynes joining us from Kansas City. Talk to you later, Hoynesy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, when we come back, we'll have Bud Shaw's spinoffs.